Thank you, Angie. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning. Yang berusaha Dr. Muhammad Nizam Osman, Advisor Coordinator, Special Topics Corporate Communication Seminar. Puan Adelina Iskandar, Senior Public Relations Consultant, World Communication Network Resources Malaysia Sdn Berhad. Professor Dr. Elaine, Director of Professional Development, Pine Academy Group Asia. Datuk Sri Dr. Santara, the Moderator, Head of Department, Lecturers, distinguished guests, committee members of Special Topics in Corporate Communication Seminar, students, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, Alhamdulillah, all praise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for making it possible for us to organize this event today. It gives me a pleasure to extend to you all a very warm welcome on behalf of the Committee of Special Topic in Corporate Communication Forum, Career Opportunities and Challenges in Corporate Communication Sector. I would like to offer my special thanks to some special people here, especially our advisor and coordinator, Dr. Muhammad Nizam Osman, for all your help, support and guidance from day one till this very moment. I also wish to extend my gratitude to the speakers, which is Puan Adelina Iskandar and also Professor Dr. Elaine, for being so willing to share their knowledge and also expertise with all of us here today. Ladies and gentlemen, as we all know, this is the era of globalization and the current information revolution such as media convergence. I'm sure you all know what is media convergence. We are witnessing today, especially all of us are now also using our smartphone, logging in and out to Facebook, Instagram, and etc. So it has been compared to the invention of movable print in the 15th century, as we all know that this is like 21st century. Therefore, as a communication student, we should understand that corporate communication professionals are at the very heart of this transformation, and it's getting to grip with the ever-changing landscape while supporting the strategy of organization is actually a major challenge. Hence, learning from others is actually a very powerful tool to add value and to broaden our horizon in understanding a given subject, in this particular moment, corporate communication. The transition process from being a student, most of us are students right here, undergraduates and also postgraduates. Therefore, it is a very crucial for us to understand the situation. Looking for a job nowadays is also a big challenge for us, especially if you are a fresh graduate. Therefore, it is very essential to be more tactful and also broaden our horizon to adapt and also to adopt with the new culture and organization. In this regard, this seminar deemed to be enlightening and meaningful experience, as we will be able to learn and speak to the expert from the corporate communication field and academia. So ladies and gentlemen, given the nature of competition and the pace of change today in the real world, there is a need for us to push our limits of our potential, as these are actually the criteria and the keys that will unlock the door to the excellence in our career path. Last but not least, to all my colleagues and team members of this seminar, it is simply overwhelming to stand before you today and to think back on the road that we have traveled together. Yes, this is quite emotional because we are in the final semester. It is hard to believe how time flies here, and it was nearly 2 years ago that we began this journey in UPM, and we can still remember day one that Dr. Nizam giving us the briefing session for postgraduate studies, and now it has come to almost an end of the course. Thanks a heap for the wonderful support, esprit de corps, and enthusiasm. I wish you the best in your future endeavors. Hope that we will strengthen the bonds and fellowship that bind us together. Once again, I wish to express my appreciation and gratitude to those who have generously contributed their ideas, energy, time, funding towards materializing this meaningful and important event. With that, thank you and have a great day ahead.
Thank you very much. She said it nicely because my pet peeve is when people come up to the mic and they'll dress up as MCs and say, "Please welcome." Have you heard that or not? Please welcome is wrong. Okay? So what you said just now was correct. At the end of a sentence, you know, when you're welcoming a speaker, a lot of times I've seen this on so many occasions. I now would like to welcome so-and-so to come to the podium to give his welcoming speech. Please welcome. That is so wrong. That is so wrong. Okay, now, when I first got here, I was discussing with the good professor how we're going to go about this. So she's going to be the good cop, I'm going to be the bad cop. Right? I'm going to tell you how nasty it is outside, and I'm so nasty that I'm going to tell him to go away because I'm going to do this myself. Has he found my slides are somewhere here? I'm going to talk about how difficult life is outside. Okay? So it's the link between education and work, how you're going to transition from education, how if you think now you're having not enough time to sleep, how in the real world you will not be able to sleep at all, so it's going to be quite bad. So you're looking at employers, employability and education. So the key word here is employability. Laku ke tak laku, whether or not you can actually shit your way in real life. Excuse my language. Are we can you clear that off, edit that? Don't put that in the recording, okay? This is language in the real world. We are not very polite. We are, especially when you're on the phone. Hello, Adelina, how are you? You're like, oh, what does she want? She wants now. Okay, yes, we can do. You know, like that's how it's like in real world. Okay, right now, making yourself more employable. How do you go about making yourself more employable? This is key. This is absolutely key. When you go for your internship, you will know for real whether the teachers and your lecturers have been bluffing all along, or whether, oh damn, I really should have paid attention to what she was saying. When you do your internship, you will realize that you never ever want to do events. When you do your internship, you will realize, damn, I really should have done journalism instead of corporate communications. If I do journalism, the corporate communication will make sure I have a chair, that I have food, that I am well taken care of during an event. Because the media is king. The corporate communications, you don't have a chance to sit down with the media. So I think now, if you undecided what you want to do in your life, change to journalism. Right? So, internship, take it very seriously, because that's where the next 30 years of your life is going to be based on. Alright? When you do your internship, you can be going to a big place, or you can go to a small place. If you go to a big place, chances are for 3 months you'll only be handling social media and that's it, for example, or you'll only be handling media relations and that's it. If you go to a small firm, it's one leg kick all. You have to do everything. Then you get a feel for everything. You know what it's like handling media relations, you know what it's like handling events, you know what it's like dealing with clients. You know what it's like to sit down in the corridor at midnight crying into a bowl because that's the first food you've eaten all day long. So take your internship very, very seriously. Be mindful of which organization. Don't just go for names. Okay, don't go for the big names, because there's so many departments, so many people, chances are you'll be stuck in one little corner doing the same thing for 100 days. Right? And you may not get the right exposure. So be very careful about your selection for your internship. Now, at the end of the day, you want people to hire you. Now, what are we looking at for when we're hiring people? What do we want? We want people with skills. In other words, when I take you, I'm not going to spend money training you. I expect the training to be done 3 years here, or 4 years here, or 5 years here, if you repeat student. Okay? If I tell you to please call the media, I want you to go look for the media guide, if you know what it is, or take it out of your pocket, if you have it, or know where to look for it. I will not tell you, please call the media. If for bernama you go look for this person, you should know it's an event. Okay? It's an entertainment event. You need the entertainment desk. You don't go for general news. Right? If it's a car accident or a crash, something bad happening, you need the crime desk. You don't go look for the hiburan pages. So, if you come and ask me stupid questions, I will kick you out. Right? There are people action bukan main on the handphone. When it comes to making a formal call, you can't do that. Or you do it in very bad English. Right? I will not tolerate people saying, saya daripada ni nak tanya sikit, nanti kita ada event. You think that person there has patience to listen to your sentence? No. You cakap lirik manja-manja, I'm going to put the phone down. What do you want? Right? So we're talking about skills. I would assume you have good English because when you come into the real world, it's in English, whether you're in the government sector or not. If you're doing corporate communications, you are in the public eye. If you're in the public eye, you speak well. Okay? How you speak, how you write represents the organization, represents you. So if I see anybody using rotten SMS language, where aku becomes AQ, where Assalamualaikum becomes SNEKOM, where Nasi becomes NS, I will personally look for you and throw away your phone. Okay, start from now. Write proper sentences. Your handphone is no longer limited to 140 characters per SMS. You have a QWERTY keyboard. You no longer have to press 5 times to get to the alphabet K. That's what happened in the SMS. Now you have predictive text. You write complete sentences. Because I have my MDs and GLCs, GMs have been receiving messages from admin staff or from executives in that language. Okay. So imagine an MD of a public listed company receiving a message from your company, Assalamualaikum, nak tanya, and the tanya is not in complete sentence. Right, so how you represent yourself in your WhatsApp, how you represent yourself in your SMS, that's basically you're representing the organization that you're with. So if you are off the habit of writing BM, that way I would suggest, if you know what's good for you, stop it. Because you have predictive text. There is no excuse for writing SMS language. So just stop that nonsense immediately, right? Now, there are other skills that you want. Communication skills, teamwork. When somebody is carrying stuff, I don't care who you are, you remove your high heels, you come here and you help. Okay? You do not tolerate high heels in public relations when doing events. When doing events, you're expected to walk around the hall, checking on everything, not just between the popiah and the karipak. I have seen people handling events coming in with high heels, very, very high heels, and not able to walk properly. I will remove the shoes from you. Okay, so get real. It's not a glamorous life. And as you shall see shortly, you won't even eat. Now, let's have a look at the interview. At the interview, if we call you for an interview, you've made it on paper. Right? Otherwise, we won't even call you for the interview. So if you are called for an interview on paper, you've made it. And at the interview, I am not going to look at your qualifications because that would have been filtered already. I want to have a conversation with you. I want this. Okay? If you can make us laugh at an interview, if you can tell us a funny story, and if we can have a conversation, then we know that there's already chemistry. And we want that chemistry within the organization. So, the first wrong thing to tell me at an interview, when I ask you, can you tell me a bit about yourself? Puan, dia cakap bahasa Melayu tak? No. Right? If I ask you in English, you damn well answer in English. If I start the conversation in BM, you follow in BM. But if I start the conversation in English, it's for a reason. Okay? The distinctive factor these days is people coming in able to speak good English, not just write. Because remember, on paper, you've made it. That will be the distinguishing criteria. If you can sell yourself well at an interview you're in, and make us laugh and have a conversation. When you're representing the company, you are selling the company. So we want, if you can't sell yourself, how can you sell a company? How can you sell ideas? How can you sell proposals? So doing well at an interview involves conversations. Knowing, but having a sense of humor helps, but to be able to engage. Okay, so the key word here is to be engaged with your interviewers. Okay, just start on a funny note, tell a funny anecdote about yourself or your family, but don't be serious, because an advertising agency is not a serious organization. Okay, you want to serious, you go to the accounting for the total, that's why you left. Okay, right. Be understood. This is key. Speak up, speak well. This is clear. This is crucial. We can't have anybody not being confident. Imagine you're inviting the media. All I'm asking you to do, girl, is to call the media. That's all. Not rocket science. Itu pun tak dibuat. How long does it take you to call one reporter? Because it's not just calling him once to attend, it's asking if he's coming. The RSVP is then asking if he's bringing a photographer as well. Okay, it's also later on when he comes, it's also asking when the article is going to come out. Do you need further information? So when we ask to call the media, it's not one conversation. So you need the skills to be able to follow up. Now here we go about corporate life. The handphone that you have now, that you insist on using during lectures and trying to hide, and some of your experts are keying WhatsApp messages while driving, this will be the bane of your life. Okay? Instructions come over WhatsApp, and the instructions are always for something that needed to be done yesterday. There will be no social life. Okay? You've heard about work-life balance. It does not exist. There's no such thing. In corporate communications, in public relations, this does not exist. You wait until your pension and then you can have work-life balance. Okay? Which is why those who do well in corporate communications are either single for a long time or divorced. Okay? Because of the times. Weekends is when events happen. Okay? You work late at night to prepare for events, but you're not at home at the weekend. So I won't go talk about divorce rates, but okay, be mindful that there's no such thing. When you're at work, you're dreaming of sleeping. When you're sleeping, you're dreaming of work. This is how it's going to haunt you for the next 30 years. Right? If you're doing events, oh my God, did I put the last bunting on? Was there a full stop in the bunting? Oh, goodie bags. Oh my God, did I put the mouse pad in? That is, you want to try and get a good sleep, but there's always that in the background. If you've done events, you know what I'm talking about. Chances are you will lose weight. Okay? Because you will not have time to eat. Okay? You do not eat during an event. You eat when the last guest has left. Throughout the event, you are on duty. So kalau the guest kata jemput makan, ya, baik, I teman dia makan. No such thing. No such thing. So you eat before the event. You have your nasi goreng at 3 o'clock for the dinner event that starts at 8. Because from 3 to 8, you're doing the sound check, you're checking the lighting, you're checking the goodie bags, you're checking the parking, you're checking the security guard, you're checking the tags, you're checking everything that needs to be checked. So you're not eating until after the dinner, which is 12 o'clock. That's your next meal. Right? So this is how it is. Now that's just eating. I haven't spoken about sleeping yet. You don't sleep. After the event finishes, what do you do after you eat? You start packing. You bring down the backdrop, you take back all the flowers, you clear everything off the tables, because chances are, if it's at a good hotel, there's another event that morning, and the crew is coming in to turn around the room that time as well. So you will get home after event, maybe 6 o'clock in the morning. And 9 o'clock, I want to see you in the office. That's basically how it is, okay? I had to run a press conference. I was the main spokesperson, okay? Because of the subject matter, I was the only one who could handle the press conference as a spokesperson, right? I was sick, I went to the doctor gave me a steroid jab. So I handled the press conference. I was a spokesperson, okay, with the media. I was the main spokesperson. I was working that day just purely on steroids. After that, I went home, went to the hospital. I was in the hospital for 4 days. I was on drip throughout. Okay? So if you're telling me that you have a stomach ache and you can't come to the office, I will expect you to come to the office not on time, but your emails to be handled while you're in the toilet. Okay? For as long as you have your handphone, you can handle emails. For as long as you have your handphone, you can handle WhatsApp work when you're in the toilet. So there's no excuse. Okay? Weekend, forget about weekend, that's when you work. You spend your whole weekday planning for the event on the weekend. How many events have you attended over the weekend? A lot, kan? So imagine you handling the event pada muka. Right? So working on Sunday is normal. During the 2013 elections, if you remember that, there was a lot of speculation the election is going to be in January, after Chinese New Year, March, it went on forever. I didn't have a weekend for 5 months because I was with the GLC. So I decided, no, May, I'm going off, I have an anniversary, I want to go off in May. Masa May 5th lah dia buat election. Okay? So, if you're working with the government sector, if you're working with the GLC, right, if there's an election, you are on duty. Okay, because elections, that's when there's a lot of dependency on the GLC for support. Right? You do not watch the clock, you do not go home at 5. I don't care what time you go home, but by 9 o'clock you must be in the office. You can't tell me, no, but I left the office at midnight. So, you still come to work at 9. So we don't care what time you leave, but 9 o'clock you have to be in the office. This is what it's like in the private sector. In the government sector, you have a punch clock machine. If you're handling social media, you die, because you're not watching just Malaysian time, you're watching international time as well. Right? Somebody mentioned about globalization. Globalization is translated into social media as 24/7. Have you seen Facebook pages? Kedai makan, whatever, typically replies within 30 minutes. You see that one? Typically replies online. Now imagine you're handling that and you have customers overseas and you have that caveat there. You have a statement there saying typically replies in 30 minutes. I'm ordering from my friend in a different time zone. Are you going to reply as well? And I started, if you're familiar with Shabazz Puspel hotline, right? There's a Puspel Facebook, a Puspel Twitter. If you're from Selangor, I started that. Okay. I only allow it to be started because it's manned by a 24-hour call center. That means 3 o'clock in the morning tak ada air, you can tweet us or you can send it over Facebook, there will be somebody responding. A lot of problem these days is when a lot of companies and government agencies, orang Facebook dia pun nak Facebook, orang Twitter pun nak Twitter, 5 o'clock bye-bye. That's not how it works. When you don't reply after 5, it just shows the mentality that you're only bound by office hours and that you're not going over and above or to extend yourself to the customer, so that's bad. One thing I need to stress about is punctuality. And this may or may not be taught in the classroom, but you do not arrive late, right? You arrive early. Tak ada orang dalam bilik pun tak apa. You are there, your mindset is done, you do not run late, okay? Work still now, you have ways, and when I'm coming here, somebody asked me about that, and actually I was given the location. Right, so I was already on Waze, but maybe the location was different, so I used Google Maps for the location. I got here in time. The Waze and Google Map tells your ETA, okay, and it tells you the fastest route, okay, whether it's toll or not toll, right? If you pay toll, you are reimbursed, use the damn toll, right? There should not be any excuses for coming late because now you have Waze and Google Map. If you wake up late, then you don't come to work the next day because chances are somebody else has taken your place. Right? So I can't stress enough on punctuality because that is crucial. Once you're late, everything then comes in late. Okay? You do everything when you're an intern, you do everything when you're a junior executive. You don't say, oh no lah, I'm only handling social media, my foot. Okay? At an event where there are 200 goodie bags to be filled, everybody sits at the corner, squats, and fills in a damn goodie bag. Right? I was at an event, there was not enough goodie bags for the media. Right? So, dengan muka like went to get the refill. 10 goodie bags came 30 minutes later. How slow is that? Very, very slow. What happened at the event? That trolley was hijacked. I was supposed to get that trolley because I wanted to give it to my media. That trolley was hijacked by the VIP's drivers and the VIP's macais. Takkan kita orang tak ada. Right? So what happens? I have now media without goodie bags because it was taken by the drivers. I need to maintain or protect my relations with the media. Okay? Because my contract was media relations, not events management. So according to the terms of my contract, I need to take care of the media. I'm fighting for that trolley. But in the bigger picture, in the bigger scheme of things, you need to look after the drivers because they will get your minister there on time. Okay? They can be the ones telling you via WhatsApp or phone, okay, kami akan sampai 10 minit lagi. Then you have somebody there waiting for the minister. And not what happened there. When the minister arrived, because all bodoh sombong, the minister arrived, the MD was still inside. Okay? When you're doing public relations, everybody counts. Okay? You want to know gossip, you pay attention to what the drivers are talking about. Right? You want your payment invoice done, you pay careful attention to the secretary. You want the application processed quickly, you be friends with the procurement people. Not just the top. At operations level, you befriend everyone. Okay? Now, there are many aspects of work. You may run through the whole of this, and that's expected. Okay? This is what your brain is going to look like. It's going to be exploding. And there's always a rush job. There's always a rush job. You want it when? Masa itulah juga. Okay? So your smartphone is now a curse. Okay? At an event, please mute all WhatsApp groups. Because at an event, the main communication is no longer walkie-talkie, but the WhatsApp. You mute all your other WhatsApp group except your own work group. Because you can't be distracted with all the WhatsApp noises coming in and you miss the work one. Why do we no longer use walkie-talkie? Because the damn thing is bloody loud. Hello, kenapa? Tak tahu lagi meja tu. And you can hear, right? You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? So WhatsApp. Have your phone in your hand. Don't have the phone in your handbag because you will not hear it. And somebody that is cursing, ni telur dah masak. Where is everybody? And the telur is going to break already. And nobody's there. Because, I WhatsApp you. Oh, I tak dapat. Mana bag my bag tak dapat. Oh, my phone in the bag. I penampor. Serious. Your phone is your main tool. Okay? You can actually go down for breakfast. Okay? The day when you can go down for breakfast, have your toast, that's actually a luxury. Because otherwise, it's like boom. Multiple proposals at a time. So somebody asks, Adelina, that company proposal macam like, why did I do that? And I'm trying to recall because there are so many things coming to you at the same time. Okay? So you need to be able to multitask. Right? This is not going to happen. No such thing. Okay? There will be stress for the next 30 years. Okay? Nanti bila adik kahwin pun, oh you buat events kan? Okay tak bunga ni? That will happen. Okay? Now, presentation skills. This is key. You've learned presentation skills? You can do presentations? Okay, don't give me this animation bullshit. I do not want things to fly in. I do not want, worst of all, alphabets to plonk in one by one. You know that? Right? Don't give me that rubbish. Don't bother with animation unless the animation is doing something. Otherwise, have it on a flat slide. For heaven's sake, do not. The worst is when not just the words fly in one by one, when the alphabets fly in one. You've seen those? It is so painful. It's like you just want to give me the damn mouse. Okay, I'll just bloody click for you. Excuse my language. I'll just click for you. Do not do that. It just shows you have so much time on your hands and you're not actually doing the real work. Now, this is what happened to me. I was at the GLC. I was preparing a CSR report, which is to be tabled at the board for annual report. Okay, total spend was 16 million. So you can imagine how thick the CSR report was. Okay, but, I mean you know when it's due, so you take weeks to do, but you compile everything and you know the main figures. After waiting for 4 or 5 hours, you know what it's like waiting for the board members to finally, when it's finally your turn, and lucky it's this week, not next week, okay? Masuk, Adelina, dah 12 o'clock, we're very hungry 5 minutes can? So I had 5 minutes to present a report, a CSR report with an expenditure of 16 million. How do you do that? When you had prepared 200 pages of slides. Okay, this is what happens. Right? So you can spend time preparing your presentation, but the best the best thing the lecturer can do for you is to say, okay, you have 5 minutes to come here and tell me what it's all about. Although he gave you 30 minutes in the first place. That's the best favor a lecturer can do for you. Okay, you will scream, no, it takes 30 minutes. I prepared 500 slides. Now you say 5 minutes. That's real life. That's real life. It just means you must know the numbers at your fingertips. It just means you know the flow of the event at the fingertips. You go into a room, you have a timetable of the flow. Registration, media registration, guest come what time, makan what time. No, I have no time. Makan pukul berapa? Makan 2:30. Media come in 4:30 because there's no time to show. Chairman of GLCs, PLCs, they have gone through so many things in the morning already. Dah penat. I'm tired. I just want to know who is coming. Speech dah prepare belum? Berapa budget? Okay, what are your contingency plans for when it rains? And I'm not waiting for you to open your slides to find out, no. So when you're preparing the slides, the best thing is the person who prepares the slides is the person who goes and speaks. Bukan, you wakilkan somebody to prepare the slides and you go there looking glamorous, trying to get the clicker to come with you. No! So you need to know what is in the slides, and you can only do that if you do it yourself. Right? You're expected to be able to come up to the front and give an impromptu speech. Right? If you haven't already, or if you're not, and I doubt that you are, please look for the nearest Toastmasters. Right? Join the Toastmasters. If you don't know what a Toastmasters is, Google it. It will improve your presentation skills by leaps and bounds. As you're speaking, somebody will be counting how many times you raise your hands in the same manner. They'll be counting the R's. They'll be looking at your grammar as well. So maybe UPM can start, if you don't have already, a Toastmasters chapter, because that is excellent practice for you, excellent groundwork for you. Now, communication technology, this is your life. This is your life, okay? Your handphone is no longer a toy. Ask me how I spent my Sunday and Saturday. I was on the handphone. I have a crew in Singapore for an event, I have a crew in Kedah, and I have a crew in Bangsa. I had to be the one uploading on one of the clients' Facebook and Instagram. Why was I the one uploading? Because I was the one with good grammar. Yeah, you can't upload rubbish on behalf of a client in broken English. Right? When you upload on behalf of a client on Facebook or Instagram, you must have captions. Right? If it's an international client, and this was an event in Singapore, the language is English. You cannot upload and claim that you are handling the social media if you cannot upload in good English. Right? It's not that my staff's English was bad, but we didn't want to take the risk because it's an international client. So she was taking pictures, I was uploading on Instagram with the hashtags, and uploading on Facebook with the hashtags. And I had a problem on Instagram with location. My location didn't work. So I had to key in the location instead of it auto coming in on GPS. Right? So I cannot stress enough the importance of English. You can't be expected to do everything in BM because you're going global, and we had a conversation in the room just now. To understand BM these days, you don't need to know English. You run whether or not it's FI. Latest I heard was enterprise for when you have to go usahawanan. Right. WhatsApp group is key. You exit during an event. You only keep your work group on during an event because there cannot be any distractions during an event. And like I said, instructions are coming on WhatsApp and you must have your phone with you all the time. Okay? Instagram, Pinterest, okay, you need to explore this, you need to know what they are, but most of all, you need to use this. Okay, now, right. How long do I have more? 10 minutes? I'm done. Okay, I'm done. Just very quickly, people these days don't read. People these days look at visual. So your handphone is key. If you can't afford a Samsung, and a Samsung is now getting overrated, go for the Chinese brands, Oppo, Huawei, Lenovo, HTC. excellent, good money for good value for money. Don't go for iPhones. iPhones are proprietary, you cannot share. There's more sharing on Android, right? And typically Android is 2 OSs ahead than Apple, right? Applications are updated on Android faster than on Apple, basically because Apple is proprietary. You need to share pictures, Apple goes through iTunes. I learned the hard way, I spent a bomb on Apple, I couldn't bloody use it. Okay. So pictures and everything. Now, last one before I leave, office politics. Okay, when you come in, you are a mere pawn, you'll be asked to go left, right and center, you do it. Okay, you don't pretend you are anak datuk, anak Tan Sri, you deserve special attention, you can get out. Right? You are nowhere. You will be asked to do all kinds of things. You are around down there at the bottom of the heap. Okay? When you come in fresh, basically you will learn later on that there are camps in offices. This camp, that camp, your friend, my friend. That happens. Okay? The best is not to side with anybody because the person you upset today may be your boss tomorrow. Okay? I think that's basically it. If relevant, if I've scared you enough, but the professor coming in and she's going to be nicer than me, so she's going to talk about the more positive aspects of coming into work. Thank you very much.